So we welcome everyone here today. Classic Clash. We've got to change that name. It gets me every single time. Between Tigers and Boyup Brook. Both teams without a win so far this season. So both will be looking to register their first win on the board. They just draw themselves ever closer to the top four. It's one of those years where maybe 4 or 5 games might actually sneak you into the top four. A couple of heavy defeats yesterday. Southerners flexed their muscle after being disappointing in the last game of the year last year against the eventual premiers at D-Mill, ran out winners by 77 points. And then last night, Boyup kept on keeping on with a strong 10-goal win against the Imperials at home under lights. Imperials are right in the game up until half-time and early stages of the third quarter. But Boyup, they set up play well through the middle of the ground through Elijah Hayden and made the most of their forward opportunities and ran out eventual winners by 56 points. For both teams lining up here, happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there today. Very special day. If you have a mum, make sure you acknowledge her in the way that she should be today. I'm sure there'll be plenty of breakfasts in bed and coffees and all the rest of it and lunches today. But it's a very special day for all the mums out there. And beside me, you can't say too much, but one of the old sparring partners from way back in our days, Lee Beadle, he's going to be on the clock, commonly known as Juice among the Boyup traps. So, and Curtis, our main man on the camera today. So pretty interesting clash today. Tigers will give themselves every chance. I don't like to use the word import, so I've come up with a new one, acquisition. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in Jed Kemp, Kupanitsky, Aidan Lynch, looks a player, and also Jordan Rakowski, who has some Tigers connections. And Boyup Brook, well, they struggled in the reserves today. They didn't manage to kick a goal, but they're a very proud club. Successful a couple of years ago in a terrific grand final out at D-Mill, but have fallen ever so slightly, and that does happen in country footy, and we're interested to see how they go today, and they'll be interested in getting a hold of the footy and see if they can get their first win of the season, and all of a sudden they can push themselves up into the four. Even though they're only one game out of the four, both teams here today, a win makes it look even a little bit better. So last year's 2 grand finalists struggling. Southerners jumped a game up yesterday. Tigers, if they can get over the line today with a strong win, can actually push up into 5th position and knock the reigning premiers down to 6th. Reece Edwards, the skipper of Tigers, terrific players, won the toss and kicked to the northern end, the hockey oval end. If anyone knows Boyup Brook ground in pristine condition, and it should be a really good game of footy today. So 2 clubs really pressing for their first win this season. Only 4 games in, but it's very important that both clubs come out and put on a decent performance today. Just before the players start, to acknowledge some of our sponsors, always Manjimup Tyrepower, the terrific sponsor of the last South West Footy League, and also the filming footy sponsors and Great Southern Fuels, AFGRI, Delrag, Kimberley Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigan Hotel, Wild Gravel, Alum Lube, Dartfish, Archie's, Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains, Manjimup Gateway Hotel and Pemberton Hotel. And who can forget the big man in Paul Fowler. So away we go. Edwards in the ruck. There's a few of them up against the Dooshie. Wins the ball down to Rakowski. First centre clearance comes away of Tigers. They run through the middle of the ground. Shot on goal from Barnsby. It goes through for a minor score. So the opening score of the game, within the first 15 seconds, terrific knockdown by young Edwards, Jed Edwards in the middle of the ground. Rakowski, wearing a strong number 13, got the ball out. And Barnsby had a shot on goal. Hanson brings the ball in, goes on the far side of the ground and finds a skipper in Riley. Right on defensive 50, Luke Riley goes down the wing, looking for the big fella Naducci. Sport by Pinelli, handball out to Edwards. There's plenty of them there today. Ball's cut off in the middle of the ground by Lloyd. Looking there for Miller. Bounces past him. Now they go inside 50 to the home side. In they come. Socket off the ground there by Mitchell Hallett. How will it bounce? Bounces towards the goal. They have the numbers here. Over the top. Comes back towards Naducci. Shot on goal. Has hit the post from the goal square. So under a little bit of pressure. It's like Wedderburn, is it? Might have come off second best. A little bit proppy. Ball's brought back into play. Finds Zach Johnson. Doesn't hit him. Comes back. They can go wide now and find the skipper in Edwards. Still deep inside defensive 50. This time he goes short. Finds brother Dylan. Has a player running wide. Goes that way. Young Connor Brown. Kick not the best. It's going to be under pressure now from... That was Cordius. Tigers win the ball. Go inside, but Knapp takes the intercepting mark. Centre wing, right on the ground stand, goes around the play on the mark in Soroka. Soroka performs a tackle, comes over to Rakowski. Could have been taken without it. No, the umpire said he had prior. Free kick will go back to Knapp. So Zach Knapp getting himself involved in the game early. Has a player short, decides to go that way. Finds him, middle of the ground. That's Williams, Alistair Williams. Goes long, gets inside 50. Front position, mark taken by O'Neill in front of Pinelli. Pinelli was pushing back. That's Corbin Pinelli. On the home side, we'll have the opening shot on goal. Sorry, it's Brodie Wallum. 40 metres out, directly in front. Uncontested chest mark from Wallum. Doesn't waste any time. In he comes now. Deliberate shot on goal. It's going to get to the line. Gone across the face and through for a minor score. So 2 points to 1, early stages of this first quarter. And a let off there for Tigers defence as Wallum had a good look on goal but couldn't capitalise. Ball's brought back into play. Looking there for Kemp. And it's been cut off once again. And the home side, the Roos will go back and have another shot on goal. This time it's Mitchell Hallett, and he'll kick from 30 metres out directly in front. A dangerous kick, and Hallett read it beautifully. So Mitchell Hallett, rising star for the Boyup Roos. In he comes now, 30 metres out, deliberate shot on goal. This time he makes no mistake. Opening goal of this clash goes away to the home side, courtesy of Hallett. And 1 goal, 2-8, the Roos. One behind Tigers. Just looking unsteady coming out of defence, the visitors, and Hallett read it beautifully and made no mistake from 30 metres out. Good to see Hallett get on the board early. Basically just filling the hole as part of the zone. And Edwards kicked it straight to him out of fullback. Ball back in the middle of the ground. This time it's Bleachmore doing the ruck work. Up against Dylan Edwards. Spills out. Their tail up a little bit here. Spills out to Rakowski. Gets the handball over. Play on advantage. Goes away a Lynch. Strongly built player. Goes short. Looking for Edwards, but carries him. Lands in the big hands of Ryan Pizzotto. Runs himself into a little bit of trouble. Puts Lloyd under pressure. Comes through the middle of the ground. Now they've got an out. Finds Williams. Been good early. Goes short. Middle of the ground and finds Caritis. Been called to play on now. Goes short. Terrible kick. Lands in the arms of Johnson. Centre of the ground. So a let off. This Kemp for Tigers. Goes wide. Disposal for such a beautiful day from both sides. It's been a little bit average. Comes to Fraser Mead. Now they're through the middle of the ground. Through their skipper in Riley. What can he do? Looks down. That's a terrific mark by Nadushi. The big fella. Well, he reckons he can make the distance. He's going to kick from 60 metres out, the big fella. Haven't seen much of him. And there's plenty to see. Right on centre half forward. Edwards stands the mark. Big Will Nadushi. In he comes now. All leads are off. This will take his best. Gets the centre half forward, close to the man on the mark. It's going to land right at the top of the goal square. Over the back. Taken by Reece Edwards, a defensive mark in the goal square. Been a little bit untidy coming out of the back line, Tigers. This time he plays on, goes short. Finds a player. Goes back to Reece Edwards, goes down the wing. This is better. So just maintaining possession. Chapman makes the lead. Come back inboard and find Connor Edwards. He goes wide looking for Pinelli. It's missed him. Player coming off the bench was Josh Miller. Not one of his best tackles, spills back to Benelli. He goes inboard and finds Soroka on the wing. Soroka with a dangerous kick, goes inboard, but it's cut off by Hansen. Gets a handball back towards Lloyd, runs himself into trouble, big trouble. Play on advantage now, the way of Brown. Goes towards Nitsky, spins around, he might get it back. Lynch back to Nitsky, runs into an open goal from 20. And Tigers have their first goal on the board. Ryan Lloyd just ran himself into trouble. Connor Brown was there, took advantage. And Lynch, been prominent early, handball over to Nitsky. And Nitsky made no mistake, top of the goal square. So a goal apiece, 14 minutes to go in the first quarter. 1 goal, 1-7 Tigers, 1 goal, 2-8 the Roos. 1 goal to Hallett and then to Nitsky. So it's mistakes that have got both goals for each team so far. Just a bit untidy, especially Tigers coming out of defence. But Lloyd was outnumbered 3-1 and the 3-1 out. And Nitsky made no mistake from the top of the goal square. So back in the middle of the ground, Bleachmore this time wins the ball down. Spills out to Lynch once again. Been good, drives the ball long, Pasotto in front, tackles Chapman. It spills over towards Watson. Kick on goal, but the spoil comes across from, it's a big Nadusi down there. Callum O'Neill it is. Same sort of frame. And now he's going to do the ruck work up against Namnick. So 20 metres out from Tigers' goal. Goal scoring position. O'Neill wins it over the back towards Brown. Tries to get the handball over. They have the numbers. In comes Riley. Could have been tackled high. No. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. 40 metres out from Tigers' goal. Namnick gets front position. Spills over towards Lloyd. Has some support in Hansen. Gets onto his left boot. Dangerous position in the middle of the ground. Looking there for Caritis. Puts the tackle on. They have the numbers here. Boyup. Handball comes over towards Lloyd. Been good early. Deep in defence. Goes on the far side of the ground. Good looking kick. And that's Kakiri. Takes a beautiful mark. Goes long. This time Nadushi's taken a strong mark in front of Edwards. He looks a player, the big fella. Centre wing. He couldn't have a shot from there, could he? Goes wide. And finds Wedderburn. Still too far out to score. 55 metres out. Goes inboard. Goes over the top of Wallam. Now Tigers have the numbers. One of them is Lynch. Been good early. Goes wide and finds Barnsby. Barnsby has players running for him. Goes into the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick. Looking for Johnson. Spoils the ball, but it bounces back towards him. Not his best kick. Driving the ball up towards Namnick. Spills back out towards Johnson. 2-on-1. Manages to get the handball out towards Namnick. He's well wrapped up by Hansen. Lucky there. Spills over to Barnsby. Another spill comes in. Back towards Brown from Johnson. Has a player inboard. Eludes him. Goes long. Top of the square. In front. In comes Pasotto. Tigers have the numbers. One out beautifully there by Fraser Mead. Gets the ball back to Riley through the middle of the ground. Goes short. And finds Wedderburn in the centre of the ground. Plays on straight away. Looks to go long. Edwards drops the mark in front. Now he puts himself under trouble. In comes the big fella. In Nadusi. Handballs over. Gets the ball back. Back towards Caritis. Gets around the player on the mark. Has a bit of a dummy. Sells it back to Nadusi. He thought about kicking it. Handball over to Miller. He's under pressure straight away. Wrapped up by Jesse Edwards. Umpire will come and throw the ball up right on 50. Just as Nadusi was about to wind up and have a shot from 50, someone got in his way. Spills back out. Kick on the ground. Nadusi drops the mark. Spills over towards Pinelli. One fumble. Handball over to the skipper. They're out wide here. Goes that way and finds Ryan Edwards. He can have a bounce. Does so. Has one. Could have another. Decides to kick. Goes long. Looking for Jesse Edwards. Bounces over his head. He's first back to the ball. Drives the ball long. Over the back is Namnick. Goes for it. Socket off the ground by Chapman. Should have done better. Hits the post from the top of the goal square. and through for a minor score. And 1 goal, 2 apiece, halfway through the first quarter. So they're moving the ball well, far side of the ground. Ball's brought back into play by Hanson. Goes short looking for Riley, but in front of him was James Johnson. Spoils the ball. The ball will be thrown in 40 metres out from Tigers' goal. Terrific spoil there by the youngster in Johnson. Thrown in straight away. Namnick versus Basotto. Spills out to Johnson, comes towards Namnick. Sells a little bit of candy, comes over to Nitsky. Shot on goal from Nitsky. And he's got his second. This one a little bit more difficult than the first. No mistake from 15 metres. And Cooper Nitsky puts the Tigers in front by that goal. 2 goals, 2-14. 1 goal, 2-8. Halfway through this first quarter. Back-to-back goals. Done well there, Namnick. Basotto had the frame advantage, but Namnick got himself into a good position. Got the ball out. Got it to Nitsky. And Nitsky made no mistake from 15 metres out on a tight angle. So a lot of mistakes early. Both teams just feeling each other out. A beautiful day for footy. Ball back in the middle. Bleachmore's up. One over the back by Edwards towards Caritis. Spills out. Stacks on the mill now. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Right in the middle of the ground. 14 plays 8. Early stages of this game between Boyup, Brook and Tigers as Caritis is tackled by Johnson. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. Getting himself involved, young Caritis. Don't know much about him. Here he is again. Straight away, he's wrapped up. Umpire will do it all over again. They go. One over by Edwards towards that man, Caritis. In he comes once again. Can he tackle Johnson? Johnson gets some sort of handball away. Could have given away the free kick. Umpire lets the play go on. Spills out. Hanson in best position. Sells a little bit of candy. Nearly tackled by Namnick, but manages to get his kick away and find Bleachmore just inside the centre square. He's going to go wide. Has a player working for him on the far side of the ground, and that's Wedderburn. Moving well for a big man, Wedderburn. Up and down the ground, drives the ball long, looking for Wallam. That's a terrific kick and finds him just inside forward 50. Plays on straight away. Had a player short, decides to go longer to Nadushi. Spills over the top of him. What can he do now? Picks it up for a big fella. Shot on goal. Good effort there, but only through for a minor score. A good work out of the back line. Hanson over to Wedderburn. That was a terrific kick by Wedderburn that found Wallam over 50, 60 metres. Ball to be brought back into play. Have the players short. Edwards decides to go long. Looking there for Lynch, and that's a great kick and finds him right in front of the Boyup Brook interchange box. Goes inboard and finds Kemp. So Jed Kemp looks a player. He'll go short once again and find Lynch in front of Wedderburn. So just maintaining possession. Has Edwards in short. Goes even wider and finds Barnsby right in the middle of the ground. Barnsby goes long. Good looking kick. Looking for Namnick. Namnick's hands are good. Plays on straight away. Gets onto his left foot. It's a high up and under. Hanson in front position and takes a terrific chest mark deep in defence. Goes back down the middle of the ground and finds Lloyd. Been good early. He'll go wide and find Mead. Fraser Mead. Just inside defensive 50. So Boyup Brook just slowing it down, trying to maintain possession and control. Being called to play on now. Goes down right in front of the commentary box. Looking there for Wedderburn. Tries to spoil over the back. Caritis is there. Will it sit for him? It didn't. Comes back to Wedderburn. Gets a handball over in the direction of Caritis. But it's run out of bounds by Dylan Edwards. Ball to be thrown in. 6.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. 5 points to margin in favour of Tigers. 2 goals, 2-14. 1 goal, 3-9. It's one over by Edwards. Wedderburn wins it back in the direction of Riley. Wouldn't sit for him. Hallett's there. Riley puts his body on the line. In they come now. Umpire will throw the ball up. 60 metres out from Boyup's goal. They're doing well. Wedderburn this time to do the ruck work up against Edwards. Wins it over towards Lynch. It's been good for Tigers. Gets the handball over to Johnson. Goes in the middle of the ground and finds the skipper in Reece Edwards. Has a player running for him in Connor Edwards. Just give it to another Edwards. It's easy for me. He doesn't. He gives it to Lynch. Now it's back to Edwards. Dillon runs through the middle of the ground. He'll go long looking for Namnick. Namnick gets in front and takes a terrific mark. And he'll have a shot on goal. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. Did it well through the middle of the ground. Jethro Namnick, serious knee injuries a few years ago. Good to see him back. In he comes now, a couple of steps, deliberate shot on goal. Beautiful looking kick from Namnick. Makes no mistake, and he's got Tigers third. 3 goals, 2-20, 11 points the margin. 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. The home side, 1 goal, 3-9. So Lynch proving an issue in the middle of the ground. I really want to quieten him down. Really setting up Tigers 4-0 forward. And they're prepared to kick short as they come out of defence and just maintain possession. Trying to work those players, and then all of a sudden they've got a loose player. Edwards ran through the middle of the ground. Golden Namnick. One down in the middle. Bleachmore wins it. Then it comes back to him. Being tackled high. Free kick goes his way. The big fella. Benji Bleachmore. Right in the middle of the ground. Has players leading for him. Goes in the way of Wallam. He's got Pinelli for company. Wallam works Pinelli under the ball. Spills over to Hallett. Should just soccer it off the ground. In comes the big fella, Nadushi. No talk. Spills over to Edwards. Courtesy of a handball from Pinelli. Far side of the ground. Goes to Johnson. He goes wide and finds Barnsby. Still inside defensive 50. Goes even wider and finds Watson. He'll come in the middle of the ground looking for Kemp. Has a bit of time. Takes the overhead mark. Players run for him. Fame the handball. No play on. Has a player even wider in Edwards. Edwards has got space. He can take it and run. Decides to hold the ball up in front of Wedderburn. Now gets around him. Goes wider looking for Namnick. Will it sit for him? Bounces right in front of him. Tries to get the ball up. Sits up for him. It spills over as he had O'Neill for company. Umpire to throw the ball in. 55 metres out from Tigers' goal. 11 points the margin. 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. Comes over the back towards Kemp. Being good. Gets the handball towards Namnick. Falls over. Now he's wrapped up. This ball's still in play. Umpire lets it go on. Now he'll come in and throw the ball up. 50 metres out from Tigers' goal. And they're pressing. Trying to get another score before the first quarter break. This time O'Neill does the ruck work against Namnick. Spills over to Kemp. Tries to handball to Edwards. Wasn't watching. Edwards goes past him. Now it comes out to Lloyd. Been good in this first quarter. And finds Bleachmore centre wing right in front of the commentary box. Umpires, someone's a little bit injured here. Not sure who that is. It'll be young. Trying to see a number here. It looks like young Watson, Reef Watson, might have caught one. So let's hope he's okay. Comes off as Bleachmore now. Play resume. Goes inboard. And finds Ma. He's going to kick long in front of the interchange box. Oh, it's a great mark there by Wedderburn. Could have been played. Gets the second effort. Drives the ball onto his boot. But manages only to kick it out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will be taken by Johnson. Blake Johnson goes inboard and finds the skipper in Edwards. Reece Edwards. Just outside defensive 50. Had Lynch short. Plays on now. Not much pressure on the mark. Had Lynch there for a handball. Goes wider and finds Pinelli. So they're working the far side of the ground. He's going to come back inboard and find Edwards. Goes short once again and finds Zach Johnson. He'll wheel around onto his left boot. Gets around Wedderburn on the mark. Drives the ball long, looking for Namnick. Put his arms out in front, but has Soroka there front and centre. Decides to go short. Top of the square. Beautiful kick by Soroka. And this has found Nitsky. And Cooper Nitsky will go back looking for his third of the first quarter. All from similar range. 15, 20 metres out. This one probably the longest. It's only 20 metres out, basically directly in front. So Cooper Nitsky. In he comes now for his third. Not his best kick. Not his best kick at all. And a let off there for the Roos and through for a minor score. He'll be disappointed with that. Nitsky, terrific front and centre by young Josh Soroka. Wasn't the best looking kick, but it was in the right position, and Nitsky had front position, took the mark, but couldn't capitalise and get his third for the quarter. As Hanson brings the ball in, decides to go long, looking for Caritis, gets his player under the ball, and Edwards spills over the back. In comes a big frame of Nadusi. He was always going to do that. Even Juice thought that, but it spills out to Edwards. Gets onto his right boot, looking for Barnsby. Ball goes out of bounds. Free kick. Under the modern rule, will go the way of the skipper for the Roos in Luke Riley. He was always going to take the tackler on the big fella, Will Nadusi. Riley now goes down the line. Will it sit in? Miller comes through, grabs the ball. Done well there, the youngster Rory Miller. Ball to be thrown in. Centre wing. 12 points to margin. Less than a minute to go in this opening quarter. Bleachmore does the ruck work, wins it down to Riley. Gets around Edwards on the mark. Goes short, not sure who he's looking for. Reece Edwards in best position. Spills over to Hallett. Gets a handball towards Wedderburn. Hallett comes back in once again. Now he's outnumbered. Has Reece Edwards for company. He gets the handball over towards Connor Edwards. And they're out once again through Johnson. Spills back to Nitsky. Tries to go wide. Will it sit? It does. That was Josh Soroka. Gets it back to Johnson. Goes in the middle of the ground and finds Rakowski. 60 metres out. Plays on now. And just before the siren, how's the umpire seeing this one? Still conferring, both umpires. Rakowski kicked it. No score. Just after the siren. So quarter time here at the Boyup Brook Footy Oval. 3 goals, 3-21 Tigers. 1 goal, 3-9 the home side. Mitchell Hallett got the opening goal of the game for the home side. And then Tigers kicked 3 in a row for that first quarter. Nitsky with 2. Should have had 3. And Namnick with a beautiful goal from 40 metres out. So terrific quarter of footy. A lot of mistakes, but a lot of pressure as well. And we'll be back shortly with the second quarter as this game heats up. Players back out on the ground. Good first quarter of footy from both sides. A lot of mistakes, but a lot of pressure as well. As one of the legends of the last South West walks past. And Baz Tassos, what a legend he is. Away we go in the second quarter. One out by Lynch. Probably best on ground in that first quarter. Spills out to Rakowski. Over to Kemp. Through the middle of the ground. And within 20 seconds, the second quarter, I'll have a shot on goal. It might be Nitsky again. It is Cooper Nitsky, proving to be a real focal point up forward. He'll kick from 45 directly in front. Missed one he should have got. Give him 3, but he's already got 2 so far. So for the opening goal of the second quarter, Cooper Nitsky. In he comes now. Crosses 50. Deliberate shot on goal. It's got the distance, but he's pushed it way across the face of goal. Out of bounce on the full. Free kick will be taken by O'Neill. So another let off. Just outside his range there, Nitsky. But he's proving to be a handful when he's down in front of the big sticks. With his 3rd or 4th shot on goal. At least 4th shot. Set up a couple of others. So O'Neill to bring the ball back in. Namnick stands the mark. He'll go long and strong. It's going to hug the boundary. Will it stay in play? Don't think it did. As Posado took the mark just outside the boundary line. And Chapman, Jake Chapman for Tigers. Put the ball back into play. Goes short. It's a good looking kick. And he's found Nitsky once again in front of Riley. Right on the boundary line. Goes to the centre of the square. Loose checking there as Namnick takes the mark. 5 metres out. Runs around the man on the mark. And makes no mistake, does Namnick. He gets his 2nd of the game. He joins Nitsky with a couple apiece. Loose checking. Nitsky's seen the opening. Thought he was going to go short. Went longer. And Namnick found himself all on his own. Right in the goal square. And made no mistake from point blank range. 4 goals, 327. 18 points the margin. Early stage this second quarter. They really need to tighten up the home side, especially on Lynch in the middle of the ground and Nitsky down forward. Namnick's making the most of his opportunities. But Kemp through the middle of the ground. So all their acquisitions, as we call them today, are getting their hands on the footy. So ball back in the middle of the ground. 3 minutes into this second quarter. Up they go. One down there by Jed Edwards. Spills over towards Kemp. Just puts it onto his boot. Front position is Posado. Bounces past him. To knock it back to Posado. Comes to Nitsky. Over to Johnson. Back to Nitsky. Gets around 1. Gets around 2. Handballs over to Kemp. Deliberate shot on goal. And through for a minor score. So they're pressing. 25 minutes to work out what Boyup have got and how they're going about it. And really working it out of the middle of the ground. Boyup Brook just can't get their hands on the football. Early stage this second quarter. Now Hansen plays on out of the goal square. He's going to go long. Got a beautiful left foot kick. Got to look for the big fella in Nadusi. In front he goes up and takes a strong mark in front of Reece Edwards. Reece Edwards is no slouch. Will Nadusi goes down centre wing, looks there for Wallam. Wallam gets front position and takes the mark. Brodie Wallam in front of Pinelli. Has players short, goes that way and finds Lloyd. Just maintaining possession. It's a player in Posado. So in the middle of the ground, Ryan Posado, the big fella. He goes short looking for Riley. Carries over his head, finds the chest of young Rory Miller. So just maintaining possession. Hanson running past. Miller says he's going to go long. It's a good-looking kick. Big Nadusi's worked his way up. In comes Wedderburn. Could have given away the free kick. Hands the ball's over to Karitis. Riley's out on his own. Probably should have handballed it. Now he's put himself under pressure. Rakowski's there. Handballs back towards Lynch. Decides to come back to where it come from and finds Reece Edwards. Player in the middle of the ground is Pinelli. So still inside defensive 50. Now he'll go back on the far side of the ground looking for Johnson. Finds him. Now they've worked the loose player. One of them is Barnsby. So maintaining possession. Barnsby goes through. Middle of the ground looking for Rakowski. Goes past him. Spills towards Pasotto. Puts his teammate under pressure. That was... Bleachmore? Not sure. Keep going as the ball's turned over. And Hanson takes a defensive intercept mark inside defensive 50. He goes wide. The mark's been taken on the far side of the ground. Might be Wedderburn. Tries to go over the top. Looking for Williams. But Johnson takes the mark. Been called to play on now. Comes inboard and finds Reece Edwards. Been their linchpin coming out of fullback. Middle of the ground, finds Lynch, probably best on ground. Goes into the centre square and finds Johnson. Blake Johnson gets onto his left boot, drives the ball long. Nitsky in best position. Hanson makes a good spoil. Nitsky's there. Handball over to Kemp. He'll run into an open goal, Kemp. And make no mistake, there's Jed Kemp. And another one goes away of Tigers. With Kemp now getting his name on the scoreboard. Terrific effort. Second effort there by Nitsky. Gets the handball over to Kemp. And Kemp run in from 5 metres out. Made no mistake. So ring the changes. Rakowski and Lynch come off. And young Johnson and Jesse Edwards go into the middle of the ground. So just getting away now, that margin out to 25 points. 15 minutes to go in this second quarter. Wedderburn this time doing the ruck. Wins it down towards Riley. Johnson's there, gets wrapped up straight away by Lloyd. Umpire to come in and throw the ball up. This time Edwards wins it down, comes over to Lloyd. It's chucked onto the boot by Hallett. It's a high up and under. Puts the defence under pressure. A terrific mark by Johnson. He'll go wide and find Reece Edwards. Has players running for him. Decides to go long down the wing, looking for Brown. Carries over his head. Now he puts himself under pressure. Spills back out. Boyup, kick it long. And they found Reece Edwards once again. Goes inboard, finds Jed Edwards. He'll go short and find Jesse Edwards. Over to Connor Brown. Has a player, Johnson. Handballs to him now. He'll wheel onto his left boot. Go even wider, looking for Nitsky. Has a couple of metres on Hanson. Hanson runs past the ball. Spills over to Nitsky. Gets around one on the mark. Goes short. And finds Blake Johnson to have another shot on goal for Tigers. 20 metres out. Just slight confusion. Pretty sure that Boyup might have two number 26s. It's throwing us off a little bit here. Johnson comes in. Deliberate shot on goal. No mistake. Tigers have another one. So 3-0 in this second quarter. The margin out to 31 points. So unselfish play by Nitsky. Short kick found Johnson right at the top of the goals, and he made no mistake from 20 metres out. So 3-0, halfway through this second quarter. This time, Big Nadushi's in the ruck. Wins it down. Goes straight towards Brown. Spills back to Nadushi. Tackled. It's a good tackle too. He wins the ball. Plays on straight away and finds Reece Edwards. He'll go short and finds Soroka. Soroka looking there for Chapman. Carries over the top of his head and lands in the arm of Nitsky once again. It's Kemp. So Kemp will have a shot on goal from 50 metres out. 45-degree angle right behind this one. Already with a goal to his name in this second quarter, Jed Kemp. He'll have a deliberate shot on goal. And in he comes now. It's a good looking kick, trying to work back, but just goes through for a minor score. So Hansen to bring the ball back in once again. Plays on out of the goal square, as every fullback does these days. Looks for the big fella, Nadusi. Ball spills over to Edwards. Comes back to Soroka. Tries to go short. The ball's cut off. In comes Soroka once again. Kemp gets the handball out illegally towards Nitsky. And the Roos will take the relieving free kick. Deep in their defence. Goes inboard. And finds Mead. Fraser Mead. He'll go short. The ball's spilt there by Miller. Net lands on Johnson. Barnsby, receiver of the handball. Not his best kick. I don't know if that was a pass. Nitsky's there. Outnumbered 3-1. Soccer off the ground. Soccer in danger. Done well there. Read the situation. But the umpire deemed it was illegal. The free kick once again. Deep in defence. Plays on straight away in front of Nitsky. Goes directly up the middle of the ground. Nadusi's there. Edwards is there. Nadusi uses his frame. Comes towards Wallam. Wrapped up. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Right in the middle of the oval. 6 goals, 5-41. 1 goal, 3-9. 32 points the margin. Edwards tries to bust his way through the pack. Spills over towards Lynch. Gets a handball over. Comes to Brown. Brown can go wider and find Soroka right on 50. As Karitis mans the mark. Has players working for him. Decides to go in the middle of the ground. Looking for Nitsky. Nearly carries over to him. And the mark's cut off once again. We'll get a name for this fella shortly. He's doing some really good work down there. 2 number 26s. We'll get some confirmation at half time. As he goes short, finds Pasotto. Pasotto looking there for Hallett. Hallett nearly reins in the one-hander. Spills out the back. Comes back towards Johnson. Has a player, Brown, in the middle of the ground. Finds him. Good by foot so far, Tigers. He goes shorter and finds Edwards. Been terrific. One of their best. Reece Edwards, the skipper. Edwards now goes long. It's a good lead by Nitsky. And Nitsky takes the mark. For another look on goal. This time 45 metres out. Decides to go in the middle of the ground looking for Brown. In front of him was Lloyd. Affects the spoil. Spills over towards Edwards. Shot on goal. The mark is taken deep in defence by Callum O'Neill. O'Neill goes short. Not his best kick. Puts his teammate under pressure. Now he's got to go wide, long and strong. That's not a great kick either. It's going to spill back towards Kemp. Gets around 1, then 2. He'll snap on goal. Kemp. Namnick in best position. Pushed off the ball by Pasotto. Namnick's there, 3-1. In comes O'Neill. In comes Namnick. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up right on the goal line. 2 metres out. 32 points the margin. Namnick to do the ruck work against O'Neill. And O'Neill does well. Pushes it through for a minor score. We'll work that out at half-time, Juice, because we're not sure who it is at the moment. Ball to be brought back into play by Hansen. Got a player working for him in Riley. Doesn't sit up for him. Now he's got Barnsby for company. Barnsby gets him off balance. Puts the ball inside. Looking for Kemp. Handball over to Edwards. Snap on goal from Edwards. They're peppering and through for another minor score. So Hansen once again to bring the ball back into play. 6-7-43 Tigers. 1 goal, 3-9. Haven't scored so far in this second quarter. Hansen brings the ball in long. In front is Brown and he takes a terrific overhead mark in front of Riley, the skipper. Goes short and finds Namnick right on 50. He'll go even shorter and find Edwards. Could have played on. This is Jesse Edwards. And Jesse Edwards will have a shot on goal. 45 metres out, slight angle. And this to give them their fourth of the quarter. Still 7 minutes to play. Plenty of time. Jesse Edwards. In he comes now. It's trying to work its way back. Has it done so? I think it has. It has. So Edwards, Jesse this time gets his name on the scoreboard. And the margin is ever increasing for the visitors. 4-0 in this second quarter. And that margin, they just cannot get it forward at the moment, the home side. They get it to halfway and then it breaks down. There's Edwards, he come off the bench, went into the middle of the ground. A beautiful goal. And 45 metres out. It must have been close. Umpire in best position. 7 goals, 7-49, 40 points the margin. This time Nadusi rings it down. Handball comes out towards Rakowski. Could have been tackled without it. Now he's dragged the ball in. Umpire lets it go. In comes the big frame in Nadusi. Now it stacks on the mill. Umpire to come in and throw the ball up. 7 minutes to go. This time Nadusi wins it down. Goes straight to Kemp. Been good in this second quarter. Over the back comes the defence of Boyup Brook. Now it's going to come out towards Lynch. Has a player running for him in Reef Watson, who's come back onto the ground. He's been tackled without it. And he wins the free kick. Still too far out to score, young Watson. Players leading for him. Has Lynch at the back. He's going to head that way. Will it carry him? Carries over towards Chapman in front of Pizzotto. Pizzotto tries to get around Lynch. Wrapped up. In they come. Watson couldn't land the tackle. Lynch does. Second tackle there by Lynch. And he wins the free kick. 55 metres out from goal. Has players running for him. Brown out the back. Big Chapman. Short lead. He'll go that way. But Johnson in front. That's Kemp. Takes the mark. And 50 metres out from goal. Jed Kemp. Already with a goal this quarter. This will test him. Lynch goes short. Now they have the numbers back. Namnick's down there. 1 on 3. Kemp. Good looking kick on goal. It's going to land towards Namnick. In front of the big mitts of Ryan Pizzotto. And he takes a mark in the goal square. Goes short and finds Lloyd. Just inside the boundary line. Has Hallett short. Now he's going to go long. Called to play on. Goes long, looking for Nadusi. Tries to use his frame. Edwards does well. Comes to Karitis. One of Boyup's best. Over to Rakowski. Spills out to me. Just chucks it onto his boot. Wallem in front. Good contest. Spills down towards Connor Edwards. Comes out towards Bleachmore. Now the kick's in front of Riley. What can he do? Pinelli will be first back to the ball. Riley now gets himself in front. The ball spills out. Still stays in play as Riley tries to soccer it. And it's come off his instep and gone out of bounds. And Pinelli takes the relieving free kick. Goes in the middle of the ground looking for Kemp. Sun gets in his eyes but has time to get the handball to Ryan Edwards. Over the back is Hanson. In comes Pizzotto. Could have given away the free kick. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Naps wrapped up by Watson. Umpire right on the centre half forward line for Tigers. Will come in and throw the ball up. 7-7-49. 1 goal, 3-9. 40 points the margin. Edwards wins the ball down. Spills out. Still in dispute. Rakowski gets a handball over towards Kemp. Just drives the ball long. Looking there for Lynch. How will it sit? Sits for Namnick. Has a couple of players. One is Brown. And Brown runs into an open goal. And there's another one for the visitors. Had 2 options there. Did Namnick. He chose Brown. And young Connor Brown, well, he knows where the goals are. Kicked a lot of goals in age footy, especially in the Colts. He made no mistake from 2 metres out, running into an open goal. So 5 goals to nothing at this stage. With nearly just under 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. And this margin is now out to 46 points. They need to get a goal on the board before half-time just to give themselves something. The home side. Nadusi now in the ruck. Wins the ball down towards Hallett. Just drives it onto his boot. They're inside 50. Goes over the top of Miller's head. He's first back. Good pick up by Miller. Tries to get the handball over towards Bleachmore. In comes Riley. Terrific tackle by the skipper. And that was on the opposing skipper, or being Edwards. Have to be. There's that many of them out there. Might be Ryan Edwards. So Riley will have a shot on goal from 45 metres out, nearly directly in front. Luke Riley. Riley, shot on goal. And through for a minor score. So Callum Boutel is a player we've been looking for. He's been good in this quarter. It's a pity we didn't know who he was to start with. He just got the same number on as someone else. But Boutel. So let off there from Riley. I'll get another chance here. Comes to Lloyd. Goes inboard. Carries over the top of Bleachmore. Handball comes back towards Jed Edwards. Now they're out. So skipper gets it looking wide for Rakowski. Second bounce. Couldn't pick it up. In they come. That's Nitsky. Been good. Drives the ball in short. Spills over to Brown. Back towards Dylan Edwards. Now they're away. Soroka has a bounce. Can close on from 40 metres out. Deliberate shot on goal from Soroka. Through for a behind. Had time for another bounce or two there, did Soroka. Terrific end-to-end stuff. As Lloyd comes off. A little bit proppy, but comes with age and experience, doesn't it? Replaced by Marr. Hanson to bring the ball back into play. Goes short, puts his teammate under pressure. Spoilt there by Chapman. In comes Namnick. Beautiful pickup. Handball to Chapman. Spent it before he got it. Could have been tackled without the ball. Free kick given away by Mead. Jake Chapman. Right on the boundary. 30 metres out from goal. This will take his best. Another acquisition. In he comes now. Crosses the boundary. Going to go the banana. Trying to bend back. Not enough. As Namnick spills the mark over the goal line and through for another minor score. So another let off for the home team. 8 goals, 9-57. 47 points the margin. 1 goal, 4-10. The home side. Only the solitary behind. Hanson brings it in. He's going to look for the big fella in Nadusi. Got Edwards for company. Gets front position. Does Will Nadusi. Takes a terrific mark. Calls his players up for the lead. Goes long. Looking for Wedderburn. Could have been paid the mark. Unlucky there. Socket off the ground by Marr. Wedderburn will come back in to put some pressure on. Spills over towards Williams. Still in play. Comes back towards Williams. Still doing well there, Williams. It's back to him. I don't know if he wanted it, but he got it. He's wrapped up by Edwards. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Nearly half time. 47 points the margin. Big Nadusi does the ruck work. It's one down by Edwards. In comes Barnsby. Thrown out of the way by Hallett. So half time here at the Boyup Brook Football Oval. A 5-0 quarter to the visitors. A 1 apiece to Namnick, Kemp, Blake Johnson, Jesse Edwards and Connor Brown. Multiple goal scorers. Namnick got 1 in the first as well. So did Nitsky. Been lively up forward. Kemp's been terrific in the middle of the ground as well as Lynch. Reece Edwards has been that real link-up player coming out of defence. And the visitors find themselves with a 47-point margin at half-time. See if they can extend this after the break. And boy, they just need to find a way forward. They had one good look at goal, pushed it across for their only scorer in the second quarter, which was behind. But they'll keep on trying. Got some good players out there. They just need to find that link up forward and make sure they have a decent shot on goal from a range that they can make no mistake. We'll be back shortly with the second half from the picturesque Happy Mother's Day from the Boyup Brook Football Ground.
quarter.
Welcome back to Boyup Brook Football Oval. The players getting into position for the second half. 47 points the margin. 1 goal, 4-10. So only a behind in that second quarter for the home side. 8 goals, 9-57. 5 goals, 6 they kicked. A couple of let-offs. In front of goal, Nitsky with 2, Namanik with 2, Kemp, Blake Johnson, Jesse Edwards, Connor Brown with 1 apiece, and Mitch Hallett, the only goal scorer for the home side, the opening goal of the game. So just about to get underway in the second half. Up they go. 1 down by Bleachmore, wins it once again. Spills out towards Kemp, terrific in that first half, gets around Bleachmore with ease. Goes wide, the ball's affected there by Riley, Luke Riley. Sells a little bit of candy, comes in the middle of the ground looking for Bleachmore. Over the top of him comes Edwards. Players there, one of them is Wallum. Goes wide and finds the ample frame of Nadushi. And he'll have the opening shot on goal, 45 metres out, tight angle. We'd just like to acknowledge those couple of legends that have turned up today, Juice and Anthony, Jono Johnson and Baz Tassos, the Mayor of Bridgetown, sitting in front of us with extra comments today. As Will Nadusi, he'll kick from 45 metres out, the big fella. And he comes now. He's going to get the distance, no problem. Umpire moves and it goes through for a goal. Umpire had to do a lot of work on that one. But it snuck in for a goal. And the opening goal of the second half goes away the home side, courtesy of a long-range shot from Nadusi. He had the distance from 55 metres out, so 45, no problem. So 2 goals, 4, 16. 8 goals, 9-57. 41 points the margin. But better effort there from the home side as Riley got it through the middle of the ground. Found the ample chest of Nadusi, and he made no mistake. So ball back in the middle. They go. Jed Edwards up against Bleachmore. Umpire's seen a free kick. And it's going to go the way of Riley. No 50 there. As Riley, the skipper, is going to drive the ball long. Not his best looking kick. In front is Dylan Edwards. He'll come out wide and find Soroka. Puts one hand up. Now he's got Miller for company. Miller tries to get around him, but he's wrapped up by Soroka in a terrific tackle. And Soroka wins the free kick right in front of the Boyup Brook interchange box. Been called to play on. Goes short. Good looking kick. Bounces in front of Kemp. Soroka butters up. Gets around Wedderburn. Gets a handball back towards Kemp. 3-on-1, spills out to Reese Edwards, one of Tiger's best. He goes short and finds Rakowski. Goes inboard, has a player running for him in Barnsby, drops what he should have taken, puts himself under pressure now. It's picked up by Hanson. He's been good. Spills over to Farrow. That's the man we were looking for, Noah Farrow. Good in that second quarter. Gets the handball out to Williams. Just chucks it onto his left boot. Mitch Hallett is there. Kicked the goal in the first quarter. Gets a handball over to the running Riley. Crosses 50. Takes a bit more grass than he did ball. Socket off the ground there by Reese Edwards. How will the umpire see this one? Deliberate. So the second shot on goal is going to come the way of the home side. And it'll go towards Wedderburn. Right on the boundary. Right side for a right footer. And this to get back-to-back goals and reduce that margin to under 40 points. Deliberate shot on goal by Wedderburn. Goes across the face. Gridis couldn't keep it in and crosses the boundary and goes out of bounds on the full. Ball to be brought back in by Zach Johnson. So a let off there. Johnson brings the ball in. The lead comes short, and that's Rakowski, Jordan Rakowski. He'll go short once again. Carries over Lynch. Lands in the arms of Riley. Plays on straight away. Mistake. Through for a minor score. disappointed with that. Riley, Rakowski went to go in short. Missed his player, lands in the arms of Riley. And he closed to win 20 and couldn't make Tigers pay. The ball to be brought back into play by the skipper in Reece Edwards. Plays on, far side of the ground. It's a good looking kick. Riley's there. Lynch takes the mark in front of Riley. Aidan Lynch comes inboard and finds Johnson. Handball back to Lynch. Been terrific. Goes wide. Finds that man in Edwards. The skipper really linking up play. 2 players short. One's Rakowski. Lynch wide as well. Goes that way. Finds him. So centre wing. Players running past. One of them is Edwards. He'll go wide and find Josh Soroka. He'll cross 50. Goes for the pass inboard. Carries over the top. Lands in the arms of Kemp. And Kemp runs into the open goal and makes no mistake from point blank range. Been good, Kemp. Soroka also on the wing. Unselfishly put it to the top of the square. Carried the pack. And Kemp was there. Bounced up nicely for him. And he made no mistake. Basically even 2 metres out. So a goal apiece. In this third quarter, early stages. 15 minutes to go. 2 goals, 5-17, Boyup. 9 goals, 9, 63. So 46 points the margin. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Bleachmore up against Jed Edwards. 1 down, comes to Nitsky, just puts it onto his boot. It's going to favour Namnick, but in front, the big hands of Brian Posotto takes the mark. He's going to come in the middle of the ground. Dangerous looking kick. It's a good kick though and finds Lloyd. Ryan Lloyd. Plays on. Goes wide. Looks for Wedderburn. This is better by the home side. Has Miller running for him. Should use him. It's going to land in space. How will it sit for young Miller? Took his eyes off the ball. Now it favours Soroka. Gets a handball out to Corbin Pinelli. Picks it up, 1 grab. Handballs back towards Soroka. He's under pressure. Manages to get the handball over to Nitsky. Plays on, gets around, has a bounce if you don't mind. Goes short in the middle of the ground and finds Jesse Edwards. Another player short. That's the last goal kicker in Kemp. Doesn't hit him, but he managed to pick it up. Handballs over to Nitsky. Nitsky goes short, looking for Namnick. Could have been pushed over the ball. Spills in front of Barnsby. Handballs back over towards Namnick. Back to Barnsby. Open shot on goal from Barnsby. Goal! Tyler Barnsby gets himself on the scoreboard. So back-to-back goals for the visitors. Wake-up call as Brook got the opening goal of the third quarter. But now Kemp and Barnsby have got themselves on the scoreboard. The margin back out. 10 goals, 9, 69. 2 goals, 5, 17. 52 points the margin. And I think that opening goal has woken Tigers up a little bit. Terrific through the middle of the ground. Beautiful pick-up by Kemp. Handball over to Nitsky. And they just had the numbers down there and unselfishly handball from Namnick to Barnsby, resulting in a goal directly in front. Ball's in the middle of the ground. Edwards wraps up Riley. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Bleachmore wins it down this time. Favours Jesse Edwards. Spills back out to Jed Edwards. He just chucks it onto his boot. In comes Hanson. 3-1. Spills towards Jed Edwards once again. Could have been tackled high. Spills over towards Riley. Drives the ball long. Looking for the big fella in the Ducey. And once again he takes the mark. And he'll have another shot on goal. He'll kick from right on 50. Very confident in the length of his kicks, Will Nadusi. And this will get his second of the third quarter. Get one back for the home side. Will Nadusi. In he comes now. Crosses 50. Looking kick on goal. It's going to land right at the goal line. carries the pack and goes through for a minor score. So he looks everything a player, big Will Nadusi, but he can't be everywhere. Leads well, very quick off the mark for a big guy. Ball to be brought back into play. Skipper, Reece Edwards, goes direct down the middle and finds Corbin Pinelli. Plays on straight away. They have the numbers on the far side of the ground. One of them is Connor Edwards. Goes wide. Comes in the middle of the ground and finds Blake Johnson. There's a player even wider in Ryan Edwards. Carries over him. Connor Brown's there. Managed to knock the player off the ball. Spills back. Comes back towards Connor Brown. Drives the ball long. He'll look for Lynch. Has a couple of metres on his direct opponent in Hanson. Snap on goal from Lynch. Minor score. Very dangerous in the middle of the ground or up forward. Lynch, Kemp, Nitsky. Chapman playing as a genuine forward. There's a strong opposition in Posado. They look like they can score at any time. So Hanson to bring the ball back into play. Halfway through this third quarter, beautiful conditions. He's going to go straight and long down the middle of the ground. It's a good-looking kick and finds Kakiri in the middle of the ground, right in the middle of the ground. Terrific kick by Hanson. He'll go short and find Wedderburn. So just trying to maintain possession. Should look for the big fella in the Ducey. Does so, not his best kick. Edwards is there. Dylan Edwards tries to get around the Ducey. It's a fair bit of ground to get around him. Gives the ball to Jed Edwards. Could have been slung in the tackle by Bleachmore. And Edwards receives a free kick. Centre wing, right in front of the commentary box. Plenty of short options. Goes back and finds Johnson. Johnson goes in the middle of the ground and finds that link-up player in the skipper and Reece Edwards. He'll go wider and find Connor Edwards. Through the middle of the ground now, Connor Brown misses what he should have taken. Riley's there. Now they have the numbers. Boyup Brook. Tigers' best bet would be to tie the ball up, and they do so. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. 10 goals, 10-70. 2 goals, 6-18. 52 points the margin. Halfway through this third quarter, Wedderburn reaches over the top, wins the ball down towards Riley. Umpire lets it go on and spills back towards Wedderburn. Puts it onto his boot now, asking a fair bit of Caritis. But in front, the mark is taken by Connor Edwards. Goes wide. Finds Brown. Handball off to Edwards once again. Through the middle of the ground. Beautiful looking kick and finds Kemp. Still too far out to score. Being called to play on. Goes long. Looking for Lynch. Gets his player under the ball in Hanson. And takes an easy chest mark and will go back and have a shot on goal. 30 metres out. 45-degree angle. Lynch to get his name on the scoreboard. And this to get that margin out to near 10 goals. Aidan Lynch. And he comes now, doesn't waste any time. Goes across the face of goal. Namik tries to keep the ball in play, but it's through for a minor score. So tough going early. Goals have dried up. The Tigers have got 2 in this third quarter, and Boyup Brook with 1. And the ball's brought back into play. Straight down the middle of the ground, carries the pack. The mark taken there by Mead. Has players short. Been called to play on now. Goes wide, looks there for Bleachmore. Carries over the top of him. Dylan Edwards is there. Bleachmore and Edwards fight for the ball. In comes Riley. Bleachmore's on the bottom of the pack. How will the umpire see this? No prior. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. A bit of a lull in play at the moment. Boyup Brook just trying to hold the ball up, not to let Tigers get that open space. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. Well, 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. 53 points the margin. Ball's one down. Kick forward by Williams. Spills over to Hallett. Gets onto his left boot. Lands in front of Caritis. Gets around his player. He'll have a kick on goal, Caritis. Umpire in best position, and it goes through for a minor score. Done well there, the youngster. Been good today. Limited opportunities down forward. But hasn't been his team's worst. His second efforts have been outstanding. Mitchell Caritis. Ball's brought back into play. Lands in the arms of Connor Edwards. He goes wide to Johnson. Johnson goes looking for Nitsky. Lands in front of him. Bleachmore's there now. Could have given away the free kick. And does so. Nitsky takes the free kick. Centre wing, far side of the ground. He'll come inboard and find Dylan Edwards. So just blocking those holes. Has the skipper, Reece Edwards, in the middle of the ground. He takes a terrific mark in front of Riley. Gets around one, gets around two. Has a bounce. He'll cross the 50. Shot on goal. Little land short. Lands in front of Namnick. Spills over the back to O'Neill. Just chucks it onto his boot. It's missed there by Edwards. Spills over to Watson. The handball hits him and it goes out of bounds. Ball to be thrown in 50 metres out from Tigers' goal. Done well there, O'Neill. And handball was from Ryan Edwards. Throwing in Bleachmore, front position. Gets it down to Riley. Being good in this third quarter. Umpire will come and throw the ball up. Right on 50. Another goal scoring position. Bleachmore gets Lynch out of the way. Spills back towards Lynch. Allows Brown to come in. Gets a handball out towards Rakowski. Gets his kick. Puts it in the middle of the ground. Kakiri's there. Nearly takes a one-hander. Could have nearly been paid. Picked up by Lloyd. Gets around a couple. Spills to Hanson. Back to Kakiri. Still inside defensive 50. He'll go wide. Looking there for Nadusi. He's outnumbered 2-1. One of them's Lynch. Rakowski picks it up. Handballs to Lynch. He'll have a shot on goal. No, puts it to the top of the square. In front was Mead. They come now. One of them is Lloyd. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. These players just getting to know each other right on the 50. 35 metres out from Tigers' goal. Lynch gets Ruckman out of the way. Spills over towards Williams. Picks it up once, twice. Now he's tackled. No prior. They've gained about 15 metres there, the visitors. Ball to be thrown up. 10 metres out from Tigers' goal. 52 points the margin. Namnick does the ruck work against O'Neill. Snap on goal. That was from Nitsky, and he's put it through. So from the ruck work from Namnick, Nitsky gets his third. All at that end as well. Could have had a couple more. But loose checking there from Boyup's defence. And Namnick won it down. And Nitsky ran into an open goal and made no mistake. So 3-1 in this third quarter. They've stemmed the flow a little bit, but still outscored by a couple of goals. One to Nitsky, one to Kemp, and one to Barnsby. And the Ducey, a terrific goal from range. The only goal scorer in this quarter for the Roos. 11 goals, 11, 77. 58 points the margin, 2-7-19. This time Nadusi's in the ruck, wins it down straight to Lynch, cuts through the pack, handball to Rakowski, drives the ball long, looking for Namnick, puts one hand up, spills out the back towards Hanson. No prior. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up 30 metres out, directly in front. Tigers goal. Namnick does the ruck work once again, spills over towards Kemp. Brown's there, socket off the ground. They have the numbers. One of them is Lloyd. Over towards Mead. He's kicked, smothered by Rakowski. In they come once again. Miller's there. Spills out towards Kemp. Handball over to Barnsby. Closes to 40. Just put off his kick just as he kicked it. Now Pasotto's there. Uses his big frame. Gets his opponent out of the way with ease. Handball over to O'Neill. Drives the ball long. Looking there for Marr. Across the front comes Edwards. In comes Lloyd. Handball over to Riley. Drives the ball wide, looking for Wedderburn. Doesn't bounce nicely for him. Still won't. Tries to keep the ball in play. Now he's outnumbered 2-1. Wins the ball well. Gets a handball over to Miller. Miller drives the ball down the boundary line. Should have done better there, Miller. Misses his target and kicks it out of bounds in the full. And the kick to be taken by Zach Johnson for Tigers. Comes inboard looking for Lynch. Drops what he should have taken. Spills over the back towards Barnsby. Miller's there. Now Lynch gets the ball back. Does the don't argue to Marr. Gets him out of the way. Has numbers. Uses Brown. Can assess the situation. Goes long. Namnick will come from too deep. In front was Wedderburn. They have the numbers. Handball comes back over towards Nitsky. He'll straighten up. No, he unselfishly gives it to Kemp. Kemp will snap on goal. Goal! But Kemp gets his third, second for the third quarter. Nitsky unselfishly was running into an open goal. Decided to handball to Kemp. Snapped around his body and made no mistake. And the margin increases once again. 4-1 in this third quarter. 3 minutes to go. 12 goals, 11, 83. Tigers, 2 goals, 7, 19. 64 points the margin. For all that good work and possession of footy in the first half of this third quarter, Tigers in the last 5 or 6 minutes have increased that margin. 3 goals in a row. Ball's back in the middle, one down, favours Riley. Handballs back towards Bleachmore, puts him under pressure, spills back towards Riley. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Ball's one out, Brown's there, Williams is there, handball's over, just chucks it onto his boot. In front is Edwards. Drives the ball long, Hallett's there. Also, Reef Watson, outnumbered 2-1, does well, the youngster. Gets the handball over towards Brown, been good in this third quarter. Handball back, puts Watson under pressure. Handball's back out into space. Now Brown has time. It crosses over the boundary line. The ball to be thrown in. 2 minutes to go in the third. 64 points the margin. A free kick's been paid. Not sure if I'm a fan of this rule. Not sure. Don't get me started on the standing rule, Juice. We could be here for the fifth quarter. Not one of my favourites. Not sure. There's a lot of whistles out there. Ball's brought back into play. Riley could have been interfered with front on contact. And Riley playing a skipper's quarter this quarter. Looks for the big frame of Yadusi. In front, Edwards, Dillon. Spores well. Gets a handball over to Connor Edwards. Goes wide. The ball spilt over towards Bleachmore. Has Williams for support. Couldn't find him with the handball. Now he's wrapped up. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Centre wing. Under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. No, Ruckman wins it down. Spills out towards Riley. Been terrific. He's going to win his own ball back. Will it sit for him? Outnumbered 2-1. Gets a handball over towards Marr. Couldn't pick it up. In comes Riley once again. And in comes the umpire and throw the ball up. 55 metres out from the home side's goal. 2-7-19, 12-11-83. 64 points the margin as we near on quarter time. Bleachmore does the ruck work. Comes back to him. Handballs over to Riley. Puts him under pressure straight away. He's wrapped up. The ball spills out of bounds. Be thrown in. 60 metres out from Boyup's goal. Opening goal of this third quarter. But the visitors have kicked the next 4 and extended that margin. Umpire says you'll have to do that all over again. Just as Hallett was about to have a shot on goal, the ball to be thrown in. Far side of the ground. Goes Bleachmore. Gets Edwards out of the way. Handball comes over, just sock it over the ground now. Reece Edwards in best position. Goes past him. Karitis is there. Soccer's off the ground. And over the boundary line. And out of the full. Had the right intent there, young Karitis. It didn't sit favourably for him. Edwards brings it in. Reese Edwards finds Dylan Edwards. He goes wide. Finds Connor Edwards. Hit another Edwards. No, he goes for a Soroka just to mix it up. And Josh Soroka, be good in this third quarter on the wing. Plays on straight away. Looks inboard for Johnson. In comes the big frame of Pisotto. Does well. Handballs over to Marr. Three-quarter time. At the Boyup Brook Football Oval. 12 goals 11, 83. 2 goals 7, 19. 64 points the margin. 4 goals to 1. Nadusi with the opening goal of that third quarter. But the last 4 of that third term, all the way at Tigers. And that margin, they'll take a 64-point margin in the last quarter. And we'll be back shortly to see how that pans out. Last quarter just about to get underway here. The picturesque oval in magnificent condition. Boyup Brook football ground. And 64 points the margin. Manjimup, Tyrepower, Lower South West. Classic clash of the day. Tigers v Boyup Brook. I'll run through these sponsors as this quarter goes through, but without them, things just don't happen. Got our cameraman guru, Curtis did a fantastic job, and my old sparring partner, Juice, on the clock. Ball in the middle of the ground. Goes towards Rakowski. He's wrapped up straight away by Williams. Umpire throws it up once again. Spills over towards Johnson. Drives it onto his boot. Posado in best position. How will this sit? Ball keeps bouncing. Goes out of bounds. Be thrown in 30 metres out from Tigers' goal as they look to increase this margin. The last 4 goals of that third quarter. Margin out to 64 points at three-quarter time. This time Namnick does a ruck work and spills over towards Farrow. Just drives it onto his boot. Handball comes over towards Lynch, who's been terrific. Gets it back to Kemp. Kemp goes towards Rakowski. He'll have a shot on goal. No, he handballs over to Soroka. Soroka has a shot on goal. He misses everything and out of bounds on the full. A little bit wasteful. 23 scoring shots to 9. And 64 points the margin. So it could have been a lot more than what it is. But it's still comfortable. Ball to be brought back into play. Long and strong goes O'Neill. Looks for Wedderburn. Gets front position. The ball spilt there by Watson. Over towards Soroka. Handballs to Namnick. Has time to assess the situation. Tries to go inboard. Misses his target. In they come now. That's Knapp. Gets the handball back from Kakiri. Drives the ball long just into open space. First back will be Johnson. That's Blake Johnson. Goes backwards. Looking for his brother. In comes Karitis, who's been good today. Wraps him up. Ball spills out towards Riley. Good in that third quarter. Handball over to Karitis. Now it spills over the boundary line. Out of bounds. A lasso free kick. Tigers win the free kick. Goes inboard to Lynch. Lynch goes in the middle of the ground to Rakowski. Looks for Soroka. Not his best kick. He's well tackled by Lloyd. Spills towards Hanson. Couldn't get a handle on it. Spills over towards Kemp. Uses his pace. Gets around Wedderburn. Back towards Rakowski. Shot on goal. All about the bounce here. It bounces through for Rakowski. Top of the square. Opening goal of the last. Goes away to the visitors. Margin 70 points. Just too easy. Last 5 goals of the game go the way of the visitors. The opening goal of the last quarter goes to Rakowski. Too many options in the forward 50. And Namnick unselfishly looked inboard. Could have had a shot on goal himself. It spills out towards Rakowski. And it bounced from the middle of the goal square through for a major. Ball back in the middle. One down by Bleachbore. Looks for that goal scorer in Rakowski. Spills back to him. He's tackled there by Riley. Umpire said you dragged it in. Free kick goes away of Luke Riley. Not many options for him. Has to go long. Looking for Brodie Wallam. Wallam picks it up on the bounce. Does well in front of Pinelli. Handball back towards Riley. Probably Boyup's Brook best today. Goes to Kakiri. Comes inboard. Pushed off his kick. Lloyd's got time. It's the ball long looking for Hanson. And Hanson takes the mark in front of Edwards, Reece Edwards. And he'll have a shot on goal. 45 metres out. Slide angle. The beautiful left foot kick of the footy is Hanson. And see if he can get the instant response for the home side. Been starved of opportunities up forward. Nicholas Hanson can hit a target out of fullback. Now's his time to go through the big sticks. Crosses 50 now. In he comes. Good looking kick on goal by Hanson. It's a beautiful kick on goal by Hanson. And he gets the instant response. Terrific kick there from Nicholas Hanson. Goal for goal, early stage this last quarter. That margin, too big a hill to climb. 64 points. So 4 goals, 2 in that third quarter. The visitors to 1 goal, 3. They just keep extending that margin. But that was a terrific kick by Hanson. Hit some really good targets kicking out of fullback. And up the other end, he made no mistake from 45. Ball in the middle, one down by Edwards. Comes towards Nitsky, been terrific. Boyup Brook drive the ball inside their forward 50. Spills towards Pinelli. Handball over from Hanson towards Brody Wallum. He goes wide, looking for the big frame in Adusi. How will it sit for him? Doesn't sit at all. Picked up beautifully by Nitsky. Has a bounce. Goes wide. Finds Zach Johnson. Hugs the boundary. Will it stay inside? It does. And he finds Soroka. Has players inboard. Goes that way. Finds Jed Edwards. Handball over to Dylan Edwards. His kick misses its target. Comes to Lloyd. Wrapped up by Barnsby. Good tackle there by Barnsby. And he wins the free kick. Just as Lloyd is going through the middle of the ground. Has 3 or 4 options wide. No one on the mark. Goes long. That's a beautiful kick and finds Jesse Edwards. Soroka will run on. Can get the kick short. Decides to go inboard. Not his best kick. Bounces over 2 or 3. Spills towards Chapman. Chapman's wrapped up by Riley. Been terrific. Riley wins it out towards Callum O'Neill. He goes wide. In comes Barnsby. Could have been taken high. Spills out. Ball's won there by Lynch. He'll walk in from 40. Deliberate shot on goal from Lynch. And he makes no mistake. And he puts through his first of the day. So some sloppy work on the far side of the ground, but terrific attack on the footy by Barnsby. Allows Lynch to get on the end of it. And he gets another one for Tigers. Margin out to 70 points. So it might have hurt Barnsby in that contest on the far side of the ground. And he'll come off and be replaced by Ryan Edwards. 14 goals, 11.95, 3-7-25, 70 points to margin. One by Edwards, goes towards Lloyd, wrapped up straight away by Nitsky. Umpire will come and throw the ball up in the middle of the ground again. Beachmore gets front position. Edwards runs around him, comes over towards Nitsky, over to Lynch, far side of the ground, goes inboard, spills over the top of Pizzotto, comes towards Chapman. Will it sit for him? It doesn't. Won't sit for him still. Handball back over towards Kemp. He'll spin around one, come back inboard, but all he's done, as if Williams was leading, hits him on the chest. He goes wide and finds Kikiri, far side of the ground. Has Lloyd short. Also Riley, being called to play on, gets around the man on the mark. Looking there for Bleachmore, 1 grab, 2 grab. Edwards could have been paid the mark. Has players wide, handballs over to Jesse Edwards in the middle of the ground. Has a player even wider in Ryan Edwards and finds him. They're all running for him. They're all Edwardses. I shouldn't get this wrong. He handballs over to Dylan Edwards. Then to Connor Edwards. Puts him under pressure. Wrapped up by Farrow. The ball goes out of bounds. Right in front of the Boyup Brook interchange box. Should have done better. The ball to be thrown in. 75 metres out. 70 points to margin. Early stages this last quarter. Wedderburn gets front position. Tried hard today as Wedderburn. The ball crosses the boundary. Centre wing right in front of the commentary box. Ball to be thrown in once again. It'll be Wedderburn up against Jed Edwards. Nitsky's there. No one's on him. Goes towards Jesse Edwards. Wins it on the first tap. Comes back to Williams. Just chucks it onto his boot. Hugging the boundary line. Nadusi in front position. Gets a handball back over to Williams. Tries to do the same again. The ball smothered by Dylan Edwards. Out of bounds. The boundary umpire reset. Right in front of us here. Beautiful Boyup Brook football oval. Pristine condition. Thrown in. Carries both ruckman. Spills over the back towards Lynch. Now it favours Riley. Could have given the handball away. Does now in front of Lloyd. Sits for him. Bounces over his head. Manages to get it back over to Nadusi. Tries to go short, but he's smothered there by Connor Edwards. Recovers on the second effort. Tries to handball towards Bleachmore. But the ball goes out of bounds. And the free kick to be taken by Nadusi. Drive the ball long. In front was Reese Edwards. Goes past him and it lands on the chest of Brodie Wallam. And Wallam will have a shot on goal. 40 metres out. Tight angle right behind this one. He's kept presenting today, Wallam. He's been starved of opportunities. Let's see what he's got in this last quarter of footy. He's pulled that. It tries to come back a little bit, but it's through for a minor score. The Manjimup Tyrepower sponsors the Classic Clash. Great Southern Fuels, the Film and Footy sponsors. Ag-Free, Delta Ag, Kimberley Agri Accommodation Group, UDF Trailers, Corrigan Hotel, and Wild Gravel. Some of our sponsors that make this happen, as Reese Edwards will bring the ball back into play. Goes down the middle of the ground. It's a good-looking kick. Over the top comes Soroka. Spills out towards Jesse Edwards. Gets a handball over to Nitsky. Has one bounce. Two bounces. Could have gone to Brown. Goes short in the direction of Kemp. How will it sit? He handballs over to Lynch. Lynch will run in from 40. Can handball over to Namnick. Decides to go himself and puts through another one for Tigers. He's second of the last quarter. Aidan Lynch getting himself involved on the scoreboard now. Terrific unselfish play. Terrific kick by Edwards out of the back line. The effort of Soroka made a contest in the middle of the ground. And 3-1. The early stages of this last quarter. And this margin now 76 points. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Ruckman do it all over again. Bleachmore wins it down. It favours him. Does his roving. Spills out towards Hanson. Gets around 1. Then 2. Gets around 3. Gets onto his left boot. Selling candy everywhere. Goes short. Not 15. Lands in the arms of Lloyd. Plays on. Goes long. Who have they got up there? The big fella, Nadusi. Cuts through a couple of Tiger defenders and takes an easy, uncontested mark. And he'll have a shot on goal from 30 metres out directly in front to get the instant response. And he's second of the game. One to Hallett, one to Nadusi, and one to Hanson. Distance won't be a problem for Big Will Nadusi. And he comes now, a couple of skips, deliberate shot on goal. How's the umpire see this? He thinks it's okay, and Big Will Nadusi gets his second. So 3-2, halfway through this last quarter. It's a terrific effort there by Nadusi. He just keeps presenting. And as we've seen from his opening effort in the first quarter, 30 metres no problem, 50 metres no problem. He made no mistake from close range. I'd also like to thank Alum Lube, Dartfish, Archie's, Omnibus, Classic Clashes, Gallagher, Premium Grains, Manjimup Gateway Hotel and Permanent Hotel. And who can forget the big fella, the publican, Paul Chookie Fowler. Ball's back in the middle. It's one out by Lloyd. Drives the ball long. Carries over the top of Wallam. Pinelli's there. Corbin Pinelli. Handball towards Reese Edwards. Over to Dylan. Goes wide. Dylan Edwards bounces in front of Brown. Spills over to Farrow. Gets around 1. Then 2. Rekowski comes in late. Puts him off his kick. Now it favours Pinelli. Handball over to Lynch. Goes wide and finds Brown. He can come in board. Does so. Dangerous kick. 1 grab, 2 grab. Mark taken by Jed Edwards. Handball back to Lynch. Goes wide looking for Edwards. Beautiful kick. Drops the mark. Has plenty of time. Looks for Namnick. Being pushed after he kicked the ball. And Namnick will take the relay free kick from the top of the goal square. Not a hell of a lot in that. Namnick won't worry about this. And he'll go back looking for his third. Doesn't waste any time nor energy. So another response to the visitors. Namnick gets his third. That's after Nadusi got a terrific goal. Made some ground through a couple of defenders. Terrific effort down the near side of the ground. And Connor Brown has been good all game. Really linking up. Pinelli done well. Jesse Edwards dropped the mark that he should have taken. It was a terrific kick from Lynch, but he had time to recover. Got pushed just after he kicked it, and Namnick took the relay free kick and made no mistake. Ball back in the middle. One down by Edwards, two Lynch. Handball over to Nitsky. He gets a handball wide to Ryan Edwards. Ball spills out. Mitch Hallett is there. Just chucks it onto his boot. Over the top comes Reece Edwards going for the one-hander. Williams is there. Bounces up to Reece Edwards. Has plenty of time. Goes inboard. Umpire got in the way. Good defender, that umpire. Spills out towards Bleachmore. Over to Brodie Wallam. Gets around a couple. Williams just chucks it onto his boot. Up and under kick. Over they come now. The defence of Tigers spills towards Hanson. Not on his right side. Over to Karitis. Snap on goal. Goes across the face of goal. Bounces inboard. Stays in play. Nadushi's there. He'll snap. Will it bend around? Top of the square. Mark taken by the skipper and Edwards. Goes wide and finds Lynch. He'll go short and find Jesse Edwards. Can get the handball back. Decides not to. Switches play completely and finds Johnson. Johnson looks for Nitsky. 2-on-2, Miller's there. Does well, the youngster. Had Lloyd, but just chucks it onto his boot. But all he's done is put it back to where it come from in Zach Johnson. Comes inboard and finds Lynch. Lynch assesses his options. Goes down looking for Namnick. Drops what he should have taken. That was a terrific kick. Comes out to Watson. Gets a handball back towards Lynch. Just putting themselves under pressure. Lynch has time. Goes even wider. Edwards misses the mark. Spills over towards Brown. Could have been pushed in the back. Riley comes in and effects a tackle. Over to Namnick. Snap on goal from Namnick. And he puts through his fourth. They made hard work of it. Coming through the middle of the ground. Just trying to be a little bit too unselfish. But in the end, Namnick made no mistake from 35 metres out. Snaps across his body. It's 5 goals now in the last quarter. 2 to the home side. And Namnick with his fourth. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in this last quarter. Just under 8 minutes to play. Margin now 81 points. Really blowing out. Ball back in the middle. Edwards wins down once again. Comes to Kemp. Handball back over to Lynch. Vying for best on ground honours. Looks for Brown. Bounces past him in the arms of Farrow. Spills out the back towards Williams. Picks it up. Just chucks it onto his boot. Spills down towards Wallam. Good pick up. Can he get around Pinelli? Can't. Over to Williams. How will this bounce for Williams? Touched off the boot and through for a minor score. So they keep trying when that ball's around 30 metres out. It just doesn't get up there often enough. 4 goals, 9, 32. 17 goals, 11, 113. The ball's brought back into play and it finds Lynch. Aidan Lynch, been terrific. Not 15, been called to play on, plenty of time. Goes down the middle of the ground and finds Zach Johnson. Has a player short in Dylan Edwards. Doesn't hit him, picks it up off the bounce. Goes inboard and finds Kemp. Kemp crosses 50. Deliberate shot on goal from Kemp. Not his best effort. Goes across the face and through for a minor score. Might have been the lack of pressure there that was the pressure. He had plenty of time. Probably could have ran in another 4 or 5 metres and closed that margin. But minor score, 17 goals, 12 now, 114. 81 points to margin. 4 goals, 9, 33. The more they try, the further they're getting behind at the moment. Ball's brought back into play and it finds Kikiri. He's tried hard as well with limited opportunities. Been called to play on now. It's a high up and under. It's going to favour Dylan Edwards. Bounces past him and Nadushi. Spills out the back towards Zach Johnson. Now lands in the arms of Lynch. He goes wide. Looking for Ryan Edwards. Misses what he should have taken. Has time to get the handball away towards Soroka. He'll come aboard looking for Kemp. Over the top of him was Hallett. Spills back to Kemp. Kemp gets a handball to Lynch. He crosses 50. Shot on goal from Lynch. Through for a minor score. It's becoming a little bit too easy. Still 5 minutes to go in this last quarter. Ball's brought back into play by Mead. Looking for Kikiri. Puts one hand up. Off his hand. Off Barrow's hand. Now Johnson's there. Blake picks the ball up. They have numbers. And the mark is taken by Edwards. It's Soroka. Josh Soroka being good on his wing. And he'll have a chance to extend this margin again. He'll kick 25 metres out directly in front to get his name on the scoreboard. Josh Soroka, point blank, deliberate shot on goal. And he makes no mistake, does Soroka. Margin closing in on 100 points. And 6 goals to 2 in this last quarter. 4.5 minutes to play. It's all one-way traffic. Even though the home side have kicked 2 goals in this last quarter through Hansen and Adusi, it just hasn't been enough. They just had all the answers. So Josh Soroka really developing into a fine young league footballer. Plenty of options, 3 options there. Soroka took the mark. He made no mistake from 25 metres out. 18 goals, 13, 121, 4-9, 33. 88 points the margin. Ball back out of the middle. Nitsky towards Lynch. Tries to get it over to Kemp. Couldn't find him. Kemp's still there. Spills back out. Johnson's there. Gets around him. Nitsky. He'll close from 30. Another shot on goal from Nitsky. And he makes no mistake. And he joins Namnik with 4 goals in this game. Way too easy for the visitors. The sting has really come out of this game as we close in. Still 4 minutes to go. Way too easy. As Namnik comes off. 4 goals to his name. 2 in the last. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Nitsky, 2 in the first, 1 in the third and 1 in the last. And I hope my legends that are still here sitting down in front are picking best player. Ball back in the middle. Edwards wins it down straight to Kemp. Handballs over to Lynch. He'll handball back to Nitsky, the last goal kicker. Slips right at the inopportune moment. Could have been injured in that slip as well. Ball's wrapped up in the middle of the ground. Farrow comes in. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Bleachmore tried hard today. Spills over to Lloyd. Been good. Drives the ball long and wide in front of Williams. Has a bit of space on Reece Edwards. Sits up nicely for him. Drives the ball long. Over the back comes a big fella in the Ducey and takes a terrific, strong, contested mark. And he'll go back from 40 metres out. Tight angle. And he's going for his third. So with limited opportunities, he looks a player. You can build a team around this fella. Will Nadusi going for his second of the last quarter. 40 metres out. A little bit of a skip. Deliberate shot on goal. It's a beautiful shot on goal from Nadusi. He makes no mistake. So he gets his third for the Roos. Kept trying. 3 in the second half to the big fella Nadusi. Spent a bit of time in the middle of the ground in the first half. But if they can get it up there quick enough and isolate him one-on-one, he's every chance of taking a strong mark and converting. We know he's got the range from 50 metres out. Anything inside that, it's just a chip shot. Terrific. 3 goals to the big fella. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Bleachmore wins it down towards Lloyd. Spills out towards Riley. Wrapped up straight away by Nitsky. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Right in the middle of the ground. Edwards, Bleachmore gets him out of the way, comes towards Lloyd, chucks it onto his left boot. Pinelli's there, so is Wallum, spills out towards Williams, chucks it onto his boot. Spills over the back. Mark taken by Edwards. Dylan goes wide, finds Soroka. Plays on straight away. Goes inboard looking for Kemp. He takes a terrific mark. Has players in the middle of the ground. One of them is Lynch. Goes past him. Spills towards Reece Edwards, the skipper. Trying to assess the situation. Goes wide and finds Jesse Edwards. In front of Mead. Crosses 50. Shot on goal from Edwards. It's all about the bounce here. It bounces through for a minor score. 19 goals, 14, 128. 5 goals, 9, 39. 89 points the margin. Minute and a half to go in this last quarter. Farrow brings the ball back into play. Runs out of the goal square. Not his best kick. It's going to end up all right. Lands with Hallett. Just plonks it onto his boot. High up and under. Asking a fair bit of Bleachmore. But Jed Edwards takes the mark. Goes inboard. Finds a skipper in Reece Edwards. He'll drive the ball long and low and finds Kemp in front of Pisotto. He'll kick from 50. Jed Kemp gets this. He'll join Nitsky and Namnik with 4 goals apiece. So Jed Kemp will take his best kick. In he comes now. Right on 50. It's going to land at the top of the goal square. Has it got the distance? Goal! Looked like it spilled over the line, but Jed Kemp, as I said, joins Namnik and Nitsky with 4 goals apiece. 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 in the last. Right on the line. It must have just carried. Goal umpire in best position. The margin is now out to 95 points. 30 seconds to go in this game. Have they got enough time to get that 100-point? Spills down towards Johnson. Handball back out to Kemp, wrapped up by Caritis. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Middle of the ground. Bleachmore does the ruck work, rins it down to Riley, one of his team's best today from the skipper. And there's the siren. For 95 points the margin. 8 goals in that last quarter to 3. Nitschke with 4, Namnik with 4, Kemp with 4, Blake Johnson, Jesse Edwards, Connor Brown, Barnsby, Rakowski, Soroka with 1 apiece. Lynch got a couple in that last quarter. And for the home side, well, Hallett got the first goal of the game. Nadushi got 3, terrific up forward, 1 in the third and 2 in the last. And Hanson with a terrific goal as well in the last quarter. So they run out winners, 95 points. I just had all the answers. Boyup didn't have any answers for their acquisitions, as we call them. Kemp, Nitsky, Lynch in the middle of the ground, and especially when they pushed up forward, winning the ball. Rakowski was terrific. Connor Brown, their skipper, was outstanding, linking up play from the back line. And they just ran out winners and done it easy by 95 points. They find themselves with their first win of the season. It might be enough to push D-Mill down 1 spot, and they find them 1 game out of the 4. We'll be back shortly. We'll go down onto the ground and announce the best player today. But a terrific win by the Manjimup Tigers. Come all the way to Boyup Brook. An outstanding, great win by 95 points. Nigel, how are you?
Yeah,
so
well,
this classic clashes, mate, filming footy, so we've judged your best on ground today. Now, we don't know if these will fit, mate. They're there from Archie's.
I'll give them to the dog.
But fantastic game today, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
How are you finding Tigers?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Obviously, yeah, a couple of tough losses the last couple of weeks for the boys, but good win against good opposition. And, yeah, 4 quarters was the main thing, really, yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about you, like zero, but I just, the way you guys work in the middle of the ground, especially out of the back line as well, through Reece Edwards, I thought his link-up play today was outstanding. But you guys know how to find the footy, like yourself and Kemp and Nitsky, but you also know where the goals are. Is that something you've been working on, or is that just part of your game from...
Well, yeah, you probably hit on head. I would probably give these to Reece. Started with the back line, they turned it over well, and when you kind of know they're going to win it and then spread quickly, and they're good users as well, you can get good spots. And, with Coops and Kempy as well, yeah, it's just having trust. If you get it to a spot, if they lead, just kick it to them, get it to their advantage. How do you finding Tigers? Like Aaron Watson's been there for a while, terrific player in his day as well. So how are you finding him? He's been there for 2 or 3 years now. It's good to see that Tigers are starting to improve. And then you get Brook aren't as strong as some others, but it's good the way you play the game. Yeah, nevertheless, you can only beat who you play, and yeah, it's a young side as we know. And Kempy, myself, and Coops, a bit of experience to try and help those young fellas who are the nucleus, and with a little bit of experience, they'll come along and be able to compete most weeks with most teams, really. Yeah,
so I just like the way you go about it, mate. I won't hold you up too much longer, but it's terrific to get your first win today.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm new to this as well, mate, but it's nice to meet. I just like the way you go about it. You're very unselfish. I think that's important in footy, and it opens up goals, and it can allow you to score as many goals as you did today.
Yeah, well, I missed about 4, so I think I should have passed them off. But, yeah, I think if I can get my hands on it and get the other fellas involved, make them feeling good, teams win games and teams win premierships, so it can't be individual. So if everyone starts feeling good and, we can play well as a team, that's more important than just me.
No, I'll let you go, mate, but well done. It'll be great to see how Tigers go, and especially yourself, against stronger opposition. But well done today, and great work.
Thanks very much, appreciate it. Thank you. Good on you.